Hello guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. So today we'll be talking about the integration recommendations, best practices, and of when you want to integrate your payments gateways. Now, for in payment gateway, there are different sections or different parts to it. Like you have the collecting payments, making payments, error handling. There are just so many of them like that. You get now authentication, cookie management, security, so input fields and every other thing. So let's start with the collecting payments. Collecting payments is such that you want your customers to make payment on the platform. You get now, so you want to collect the money. So now you have to ensure you verify the details of the payments, like the amount. It must seem sometimes, so you make sure if it's naira, it is in naira. If it's kobo, you convert to naira based on the platform. So like platform like paystack will want you to collect it in kobo, then convert it later. Do you get now? So but for flutterwave, you collect in naira. So please, it's actually good you read up the documentation for each payment platform you want to integrate. So look at the reference number, then you always implement webhooks where necessary, when applicable. You get now? So I have a video on webhooks, so you can go back and check it out. Now webhooks, so check that webhooks video, and if you have any comment, do let us know. So ensure that you are not rate limited when checking the status on this transaction. So if you understand what rate limits, it's actually count the number of time you access an endpoint. So you're actually limited to the number of times. Yeah, let's check it out. So in our constant strive to achieve and maintain 99.99 uptime and safeguard against abuse or bursts of incoming traffic, we have working guidelines to ensure you are not rate limited. If you are rate limited, you will receive HTTP code too many request response. So you get now. So each number of times you make a call um to an endpoint. So let's continue. So in case you are rate limited, you reach out to the customer care of the payment gateway. So you get now, because it's going to affect the status of your transaction and give delays. Now making payments, now ensure you handle transfers and virtual cards asynchronously via webhooks. So I already have you can use the pooling system and the webhook. Pooling system is thereby is a method whereby you actually wait for the transaction to be verified by itself. To get now, you can check out my video on it. But webhooks, it's like automatic. Once the response comes, you continue doing other things you are doing. Then once the response comes, you just pick it up and move on. To get now. So but pooling, you have to verify it yourself. To get now. Error handling, you have to ensure that you actually catch errors where necessary. So you get now, you have to ensure that you catch errors. Now when you validate this, always recommend the use of secret hash on your dashboard via settings webhooks to verify that the webhook was sent by flutterwave. So I did a video on this for paystack, so you can check it out. So you get so security recommendations. Now verify your app meets this requirement for managing your API keys. Make sure your API keys are not hard coded in the code base, please. That's why we have the env file there. You always make use of it, and when you are pushing to GitHub or any repository system, please kindly use env file, bitbuckets, what have you. Please use this thing. You get now. So please use env file. Now API call requiring your flutterwave secret key should never be initiated from a client. It should be done on the back end. Yes, this is actually very important. Your secret key is secret and should be secret. Do you get now? So all your keys should be stored in environment variable, like I said, or secret manager. So coming to authentication, now you have to ensure a strong password policy for your applications. Do you get now? Validate your inputs, implement controls against brute force, yeah. Then store database credentials securely using secret manager. Yes, and try as much as possible to perform an authorization to who has such information and who should get such information. Do you get now? Any information requiring payment, because very risky. There are regulations guiding payment, and if you break, it's going to harm both the company and you as a developer. Do you get now? Now coming to cookie management, please don't save any of your keys in cookie. It's actually not recommended. Do you get now? Don't save sensitive information in cookie. Do you get now? Now if a user is to log out from your app, please clear everything. All your session tokens should be cleared out, so another person doesn't make such transaction repeatedly. And after each transaction, clear the session, clear the cookie. Do you get now? Now session management, session timer should be configured on the server. If you check out some banking apps like the Access Bank, Money Point, and what have you, now you see that each time you want to you delay, you're making a transaction and you stepped out of the app, maybe you went out to another app, then the app logs you out, the banking app logs you out. Yes, so that's actually is a good security feature to prevent others from actually making use of your login details or your access. So it's actually very important you do that. Now let's go down to session duration should be limited to maximum of 10 hours, after which the user must be required to authenticate. 10 hours is even long. 10 hours, it should be like 5 minutes or 10 minutes, after which the person should log in to get now implement an idle session timeout. Yes, idle session timeout is very important. Once the user is not doing anything, please just send them out of the app. Now deny concurrent session. I've said something like this: when a user don't let each session to be used multiple times. Once the session is done, transaction is made, please delete the session, deactivate the session, time it out, everything should go out. So, and when you want to session token are generated using random number generator cryptographic provider, so it cannot be easily predictable. So now session termination, a clearly accessible button must exist which allow users to log out of the application, which in turn ends the session of the server. Very important. Application session must be invalidated at the server side. Logout function must effectively destroy all session tokens and render them useless. Very important. Immediately you log out, all session keys, all cookies should be deleted and deactivated instantly, destroyed instantly. Now this one is very important. When handling sensitive information, please don't handle it over HTTP. Handle it over HTTPS. Very important. You get now you securely exchange encryption keys. Limit the use and storage of sensitive information. Now when it's not necessary for users to drop their sensitive information, please don't use it. Do you get now? When it's not necessary, please don't. Do you get now? Don't allow them to be dropping it over and over again. So they might drop it once maybe upon registration or this thing, but each time if it requires that you do it over and over again, delete it immediately you are done with it. It's very important to get now. Sensitive information can go to bank account number, bank name, IB, IBAN, IUBAN number if you're in Nigeria. There are several of them. Those are very, very sensitive information. User's date of birth, name, BVN, very, very sensitive. Please don't save it. Okay, now input and output form validation. Please validate your input. So always validate your input so you don't get attacks. You get now. So validate your input, very, very important. Now ensure caching has been disabled on all SSL pages. This is very important. Please don't cache a payment system. Please don't cache it. It's very, very dangerous. Please don't cache it for any reason. You get now. If you want to improve the speed, write a very efficient code. You get, write a very efficient code, and also use a very efficient server for it. You get now. So don't cache a payment system. Thank you. Let's continue. Now vulnerabilities, always check out for vulnerabilities. The list is just too long. What they call cross-site request forgery. There's so many of them. SQL injection, XML injection. Now if you are going to be using JSON, know how you use JSON file. Do you get now? Know how you use them. If it's something, if there are things that you might need to use a JSON file, please be careful how you use them, because they can actually be exported, especially when you are importing the file into the code base. Do you get now? So okay, what else have we not talked about? Mind you, payment gateways are very, very risky platforms. Money can be lost, millions can be lost instantly at the click of a button. Millions can be lost. Please, let's try and be very careful with our payment gateways. Thank you very much. I don't know. Okay, let me say something about testing. Now in the case of testing, I'd recommend you create a separate code base, or you differentiate your code base for testing, totally different from your live one. Now, so that should anything happen on the test, it doesn't affect the live. You get now, you see it where they have their test key, they have their live key, so show you that there's a demarcation between the two. Do you get now? So when you're writing a payment gateway, try as much as possible to separate the two. Do you get now? And your API key should be hidden on the dashboard. There should be a form of click, put your password, confirm it's you, to be able to access API keys. Do you get now? Now 2FAs also help. So you can actually integrate a 2FA system or question and answer to authenticate this person is the real owner of the app. We have several cases like that. Do you get now? So you can check out mobile apps for banks and see how they work when you're building or integrating APIs for payments platforms. So I think we are done with this. Kindly share, subscribe. If you learn anything good from this platform, please share to your friends, and let's keep building wonderful apps. Thank you.